Listen, you have to understand one thing. As much as I run away from politics and I'm trying to, just be my own person and not be part of politics, politics end up being part of my life, whether I want it or not. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So as you know, my father is a big Congolese politician. He's been my whole life, so I've only known him as this. Different things: diplomat, ambassador, Secretary of State, etc., etc. Vice President of the Senate, that was the last one. Advisor to the powerful. All good. And these days, what my father does, he goes from country to country and meets with different world leaders, and they just take decisions for the future or whatever. He's doing his thing. And so a few months ago, Guinea-Bissau elected their latest president, right? Okay. So after a certain point, I actually met one of the candidates who was trying to tell me to talk to my dad and talk to other people and I was like, I'm into the music thing and business. But I've known two of the camps, and few of them anyway. When the new president was elected, no problem. After a few months, my dad calls me and he tells me, hey, I'm with the president of Guinea-Bissau. I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, I'm with Mr. Umbalo. And he passes me on the phone. And so he speaks French. So he's like, fils, how are you, brother? That's amazing. And we're part of the family. I'm with your father here. I'm like, oh, great. Nice to meet you. Congratulations, Mr. President, etc. And he's like, oh, and you are married to my cousin's daughter. I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, of course. Oh, okay. I didn't know. She didn't even tell me. So yeah, that's my cousin. We actually just called him. And actually, so his dad called me, my wife's dad calls me to tell me that my dad just called and he was with the president. So I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Okay, cool. Nothing special to me. It's been like this all my life. So when I was in Congo last time, my dad was talking to me about going to Guinea-Bissau. Actually, it was part of a trip that they do. They just fly from city to city. And politics. So he did Guinea, Chad, and then he went to another place, etc. Nothing special to me. The usual thing. Time goes by, and so the mother of Elian, my first son, calls me to tell me that this new president gave the ambassador status that my other father-in-law, I guess the father of my ex-wife, she tells me that he's been promoted to ambassador. So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. Cool. And 2 weeks after, so like last week, my wife is super happy. I'm like, yo, what's going on? My father has been promoted as Secretary of State of Education. He's going to be the Minister of Education for Guinea-Bissau. So my father is now, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. So as I'm telling you, no matter what I do, politics is around me. My sister's a politician. My brother-in-law is a politician. My little brother just went into politics now for Congo. My father-in-law is now in the Guinea-Bissau government, and apparently his cousin is the president. So in a way, it's like an uncle-in-law. And then my ex-father-in-law is also an ambassador. It is what it is. This is my life. Where the story becomes funny, I mean funny. It's not that funny, but when the coup d'etat begins, so the president of Guinea-Bissau tweeted a photo 4 days ago now. And it's a photo of his new government. And so let me see if I can see the tweet. There you go. So he posted this tweet of his brand new government, new members in the government of Guinea-Bissau. They just sworn on the 20th of January 2022. And the fourth one is my father-in-law. He's the father of my wife. So I look at that. I mean, I didn't even like, but I'm super happy. I watched it. I'm like, yo, congratulations to my father-in-law for becoming part of the government. And I'm like, wait, damn, whatever I do, like, I guess it's always politics around me. Cool. Happy for my father-in-law. He's been doing his thing as well. And now he's part of the government. So hopefully he's going to, make a change in that country, do his part, do his share. Congrats. Well done. And listen, since my father is a big politician in Congo, my father-in-law is a politician as well, and he's in the government now. Plus the president is his cousin. Plus my ex-father-in-law is also, my other father-in-law is also a politician from the same country. I guess synergies, synergies. I'm a businessman. Synergies. And so how crazy it is that he just got sworn in. He goes to work yesterday and there's a fucking coup d'etat. Yo, I was like, oh my God. So actually it's the mother of my wife comes and tell me, hey, can you call your ex? Because they know each other, they like each other. Like, can you call her to know what's going on in Guinea? So my ex is very introduced. The mother of my son, very introduced in politics in Guinea. She's also, she's a powerful woman. So she knows a lot of things before they happen, or as they happen. She has the information. So my wife is telling me there's a problem in Guinea. So it's probably 12 p.m. My wife is telling me there's a problem in Guinea. Can you call so we can have some so we can know what's going on. So I call her. I say, hey, have you heard anything about Guinea? And she's telling me it's bad. It's bad. Tell your wife to tell her dad that he has to get protected, to get somewhere. The problem is that at the moment we don't know that my father-in-law is actually is inside of the palace that is being attacked. He's actually in the Conseil des Ministres, the council of the secretaries of state with the president. As it's happening, he was inside. And all of a sudden, it's firing outside, bodyguards getting killed, all that shit. And that's his first or second or third day on the job. He just started this shit. And so we cannot reach him for hours. And so we talked to her sister that lives there, asking her for information. She says that she doesn't know. Now, my dad, has intelligence in Africa, my dad knows everything. My dad says, oh, something's happening in Guinea. I hope everybody's fine. Let me know. Now, I know a few people out there, of course. So I start listening messages here and there, and I also remove YouTube from the TV, and I go to the Portuguese channels trying to see if they know anything. Nothing on those channels. It is not like, and apparently the internet has been cut. So listen, Africa. So we spend hours not knowing exactly what happened. And the videos we start receiving are videos of chaos in front of the presidential palace, firearms, etc., etc. And we don't know where my father-in-law is inside of all this. And I don't want to make jokes at that moment because my wife is terrified. But I'm like, yo, first day on the job already? That's fucked up. And yeah, we're waiting. And I'm like, and there's been a lot of turmoil in West Africa. Burkina Faso, Mali, now Guinea-Bissau, Niger, we heard something. I called Niger. I called my best friend who's in Niger right now. She's like, nah, there's nothing there. And my mother-in-law actually works in the UN in Niger. So if there was something, we would know as well. I'm telling you, politics all around me. Now, I'm telling you, parfois c'est chaud. So now, we receive a message from her sister, so my sister-in-law. And she says, our father is safe. I had him on the phone, but he cannot say where he is right now. But he's safe. But it's no use calling him. Just wait for him to say something because everything is still happening right now. Craziness. So, I just told my wife, listen, try to not stress, try to listen, I know exactly how you feel, but listen, there's nothing you can do for now. So try to talk with people and try to not stress. And I went to the bedroom to not, to leave them alone and also find my information by myself and, talk to the people inside that I know in different countries. And I'm starting to receive messages from the rest of my family, because listen, a lot of my family members and friends are in politics and business or are children of politicians. So my cousin sends me a message, what's going on? My brother-in-law, he's married to my sister, who is a politician, telling me, hey, apparently something is going on. They know I'm attached to Guinea-Bissau from the two women that I had children with. So they're like giving me information, sending me videos. Everybody's sending me stuff. He's starting to be known all around. I'm watching stuff. Okay. And we don't know if the government is about to be overthrown by the militia or not. And listen, I just went to my bedroom, watched some YouTube video, tried to, not think too much about it. I called Buddy. We talked about it. We talked about Africa, about all these things, etc. And after, did I go out? I think I went out. I was downstairs, I went to take a walk a little bit. And when I came back, my wife was happy because she was on the phone with her dad finally. So she was on the phone with her dad. The dad explained what went on. He heard the fire. He immediately jumped out of the minister thing. He was ready. And apparently he was with a few civilians coming out already before it started becoming, while the people were trying to get in. He actually had the possibility to leave because he knew one of the persons somewhere, and he just went to find a place to hide himself long before it became problematic. And actually it took 5 hours for the president and the presidential forces to regain control of the situation from the people who decided to try to overthrow the government. So soon as they had their father, they knew their father was fine. My wife, her little sister, and my brother-in-law were less stressed. Of course, they were relieved. Their father is alive and kicking. I think he just lost his phone in the process, so I could finally make my joke, because you cannot make the joke when people don't know if their father is in this situation. But then I make my joke. I was like, yo, first day on the job. Yo. So they laughed, and I was like, hey, listen. And that's what I want to tell you about. When I told my mom called me, of course, because now everybody was talking about it after a few, I think we knew around 1 p.m. or a bit before from our back channels. The whole world started talking about it around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Twitter started talking about it probably 2 p.m. But it started really being the images going everywhere out of Guinea-Bissau from in the late afternoon. But us, we already knew what was going on, and we already knew what was going on the terrain. We didn't know yet if we knew the president was safe, but we didn't know yet if the situation was under control. Around, I think, 6 p.m. or maybe, at 6 p.m., I knew from my people that the situation was under control. I even have photos from the president speaking with the generals inside of the palace. The photos that came out after 2 hours, I had them at a point, and I had information that everything was fine and everything was under control already. So I was like, okay, cool. They haven't been overthrown. My father-in-law was not in the government for 3 days. At least he's gonna do a little more, and hopefully he's gonna do a full term. That's what I hope for him. But what I want to tell you now is what I told my wife. I told my wife, listen, when my wife learned that her father became part of this government, and he was now Secretary of State of Education. I mean, the Ministre de l'Éducation, how we say in French. She was very happy. She was very proud of her dad, which is normal. But on those days, that's when you regret. That's when you say, damn, I wish my dad was just home doing his thing and not in a government that can fall out of nowhere and people can just kill you. And that's when I told her, welcome to my life. You know, when people talk about politics, when people talk about governments between overthrown, such and such being put in jail, such and such being killed, such and such being whatevers, people forget that there are people like us who are normal people like you, who didn't ask to be sons and daughters of somebody who decided to be in politics. And whether those people are good or bad or crooks or corrupted, it doesn't matter. Those people have children. And those people, they feel things. They read the tweets when people are celebrating that your dad is finally whatever people say. The kids of those people, us, we are scared for our parents. Because for us, it's mom and dad. It's not president something or president whatever or dictator shit or king of whatever. For us, it's our moms and dads. And when those situations happen, we are in a stress that the people who comment, the people who celebrate or defend or whatever will never understand. Because for them, it's just about commenting. It's just about, yeah, it's time for this motherfucker to leave, whatever. But for us, it's like, I don't want my daddy to die. And what I was explaining to my wife, I was telling her that ever since I was born, when my dad was on working for Mobutu, listen to me, I didn't know who was good, bad, whatever. All I know is it's my dad. So the first time I saw a gun in his car, the fact that I grew up with, whenever I was in a car with them, and even today, he has bodyguards and they're heavily armed. So I'm used to this today. But all my life, I was like, if there's guns, it means there's danger. Like how many times I heard stories of, there was an attempt to kill the president, my dad, because he worked at the secret services, then before becoming something else, like. So yeah, he did this and whatever. So you hear the stories and you're like, yo, this is a dangerous job in Africa. It is dangerous all around the world. Trust me. But in Africa, when you see those things, and especially when you went through what we went through, because listen, when the Mobutu government fell, and it was the civil war in Congo, you can look at you can look at history the way you want. You can look at history as we are the good, they are the bad, right? We are the side of good, they are the side of evil. That's the way the Americans, the French, the Occidental love to present the world, right? My question to you is, what if you start looking at this in the side of, we all have children and they all are scared that they're going to lose their parents to violence. So somebody told me, I was talking with my mom this morning, and I was like, yo, listen, Valeria, yesterday she was so stressed about her dad, and my mom was like, is he fine? Is everything fine? I was like, yeah, he's fine. The government they still have control, so he's gonna, they're gonna go back to the job, whatever. And I was like, yo, like, and my mom told my wife, she told her, welcome to my life. Because now imagine you are like my mom, you are the wife of somebody who is powerful, but is always in the possibility of the American government deciding to shoot them, kill them. The French government, the Belgian government, all these things, because there's so much money under the ground of our country that if you are the person that is between them and the money, they don't mind eliminating you. And all this, we know about it. But what people don't think about is the children. When you are, this chair is making a lot of noise. When you are the son, the daughter of, listen, yesterday some people attacked the presidential palace. A lot of those attackers today are dead. But they had girlfriends, wives, and children. What about them? A kid of one of these bodyguards who got killed, or one of these people who were trying to take power, to seize power, those people are dead. But they're children. They woke up today, somebody has to give them the news. And this is horrible. This is heartbreaking. And when I was talking to my wife, I was telling her, hey, listen, my whole life, every time the phone ringed, when I was in France and my parents were in Africa, every time the phone ring, I was hoping that it was not bad news. I always said to myself, my whole life, when the phone rings, I hope it's not bad news. I hope it's not bad news. I hope like nobody got killed. Because this is in distress that you live. Imagine my friends that I grew up with. I got friends, their parents got killed. A lot of them. Either from popular vengeance or just murder, political plots, or war. We went through exile 10 years. And listen, what's interesting about politics is that, especially in this polarizing day and age, what is interesting is that most people, they want to see things in black and white, and they want to, if they're on one side, everybody's bad. If they're on the other side, everybody's bad. That's how people want to simplify the world. But even the people that you hate, they have children. And some of those children, they're just innocent. They have nothing to do with that thing. And just like every children, they love their parents. Even if the parents are considered or depicted or are really horrible people, it's still their parents. And all these commenters, all these people who tweet, who come, who give their opinion, who You know, they will not tell you guys that. Thanks, Emmanuel. I just read your email. They will not tell. They do all these comments without ever thinking about the children of all these people and how it feels when. Listen, my good friend, like we grew up together. She's Mobutu's daughter. How would you feel if every time people talked about your father without ever knowing him, he was always as he's a this, he's a that, he did this, like he never did something good? And listen, nobody's perfect. I'm not here to defend one person, what other person. Like, I don't know enough to come and defend. It's just that a lot of us now, we go read headlines. We read the headlines. We read articles that are completely opinions that are made to make you think something. And we don't try to think. Nobody wants to think. If somebody tells you that the vaccine is good, is amazing. If somebody tells you that I have doubts, is an anti-vax, and that's all they want you. That's how they want you to think, black or white. I'm sorry to tell you, life is 16 millions of colors. And in life, in 16 millions of colors, nobody's really good, nobody's really bad. Everybody is somewhere. And the same people who tell you that somebody is good are the same people who are trying to continue to profit from the people. And sometimes it's the same people who put the people that they are criticizing in power. But I'm going to ask you again, what about us, the kids? What about how we feel? What about our PTSD? How about us being there for years and years and years, just hoping that daddy comes back home at night? Nobody cares about us, and nobody cares how we grow up. And listen, some of us are lucky that we still have them. And we went through 2 wars. Personally, like, I hear war stories from my dad when he's talking about missiles and stuff flying and grabbing babies and running away from not the main city but the small, when there was like all these wars in the 70s, and then again the running away from Kinshasa, being exiled for 10 years, etc. I see my dad being depressed from being 10 years in a country that he doesn't like, France or Brussels, Belgium, because he cannot go back home. And then I remember when President Kabila says, hey, I want a government of unity and I want all the factions to come back and we all rebuild the country together. Listen, even if it's just talking, at least he opened his hands and he said, hey, you guys have to come, be part of that government, etc. So that was like 15 years ago, I remember. And when my parents said, yeah, we're going, let's go, we're going. When my dad says, yeah, I'm going back to rebuild, like, politics is that's his thing, that's in his blood, right? And he loves his country. Me, the only thing I was saying to my head was like, hell no, I don't want you guys to go. Me, I don't want to go there anymore, ever. Me, like 20 years ago, I was done with that country. I was like, no, I don't. Listen, too much suffering, too much of my friends crying from losing their people. And the people from the other side were, yeah, those people were robbing the people, whatever. Listen, it doesn't matter. Because when you're a kid, when you're the children of the people, you didn't choose to be the children of nobody. You're just the children of your parents. but people don't care about what you feel. So me, I was like, no, I don't want you guys to go. Is it safe, etc., etc.? So then my parents settled back, etc. Luckily, before leaving and losing everything, my mom took all the property, the act of property of all the terrains, all the buildings they own, all the houses. Because when they came back, there were people in their houses, people in their apartments, people in their commercial center. Everybody had been chilling for 10 years. But because they had all the documents, they could get back in everything they owned and then build a new house and etc. And now they super happy out there. They don't want to go back. And when I came back finally in Congo after 10, 12 years, I believe, it was because of music. It was because Kaysha was so big, I had to do a show. So I came to do a show. Everybody was like, oh my God, he's back, kid. And people were proud of me. And so I had to go back and love my country back. And people don't realize, I have friends. I have a friend, her dad just killed himself in jail because he was in jail forever, treated like an animal. And listen, when I saw the stress in my wife's face, and I saw how she was trying to stay composed in front of her little sister, and I was like, yeah, welcome to that feeling. Because I understand you're proud. My dad is in the government. Oh my God, my dad is a ministre de l'éducation. Wow, that's amazing, etc. But it comes with that too. It comes with, in Africa, it might be a dangerous job as well. So he's gonna get back to the job now, probably this week. But now my wife is gonna be like, I was hearing her talk. She was like, I don't know about that politics shit. I was like, yeah. People, whatever you do in life, right? There's gonna be some sacrifices. I know about sacrifice because, listen, my whole life, my father was here and not here at the same time. I had him on the phone every day, but a lot of time he was away because he was working. And I turned out fine, but I guess it's my personality. I could be a fucked up kid because of that. Because I would be like, yo, And then when I had my kid, I myself was busy building my empire. And now that's when I understood the dynamic between me and my father, because interestingly, I had the same dynamic with my son, where I was too busy performing around the world to be able to just be a father. And sometimes I regret, and at the same time, I wouldn't have all I have if I didn't sacrifice and made that choice. So, and listen, I was not doing politics, so it's less dangerous, but I was still going around the world. I was always in a plane. I was always in another city somewhere. And listen, when you are far away, you don't know what happens. So sometimes I imagine when I think about me being a kid and always asking myself, because I remember Mountain of Inspiration. I don't know if you remember my dad's car when he had like this coupe Mercedes, but the old ones from, I'm talking about in the probably 82, 83. He had this coupe Mercedes décapotable, and so I remember one day my dad takes me on a drive, and it's just me and him in the car. I'm probably like 7 years old or 6 years old, I don't remember. And I opened the passenger, the pocket in front of the passenger. I forgot how you say this. The whatever, la poche, And I opened it, and there was a 45 Magnum. That was a gun. I'll never forget these days. Because, and my dad was like, "Yeah, don't touch this." And he closed the pocket in front of me. But I saw the gun already. And I cannot say that I was traumatized. But I was, in a way, it made the whole danger real. Listen, my whole life, I've been, when I enter my parents' house, there's police inside of the house and outside of the house. There's always been armed people in my house. I've known that my whole life. When my dad comes, when I go to the restroom with my dad, he comes with his car. The first people who always go in are his bodyguards. I know they have guns, and I've known them since I was a kid. Some of them, the older ones and the younger ones, I'm also used to them. When I go see my dad at the casino and he's playing, they're here somewhere. At my wedding, because my dad was here, and the ex-president, the ex-person who tried to be a president, Bemba, was here. Then there were some politicians there were people from the UN in my wedding. In my wedding, actually, a lot of armed bodyguards were there as well, but they were so discreet that only us who are used to it could see them. Even my wife didn't know. Like, there were some weapons in the wedding, there were some security, and even like I hired also people from Portugal, actually from Club Docs. Some people were downstairs making sure that everything was fine, but also there were some people, they were just here in a table, just ready to just shoot at people. I'm exaggerating, but to me, it's everyday life. So it's nothing special to me. But still, that day when I saw that gun, I was like, oh, it's a gun. Like, he has his gun in his car. Like, and my dad was at a point he was the director of the A&R. So it's like the CIA in Congo. Before becoming more into politics, he started with security. He trained at Mossad, etc., etc. But so when you see a gun in your dad's car, you don't say nothing. But then your whole life, you ask yourself why there's a gun. And then you start just to be scared that the gun has to be to defend himself from people. Who? I don't know. And so as you are young, listen, the president of Haiti, the one who was a singer first, he's my friend. So I known him as a singer, then he became a politician. And when I'm with Monsieur Martelly, like, I remember we were together in New York performing at SOBs, and a few years later we were together in Haiti at his son's wedding, Olivier, and we were in his house, and he was telling me, "Yo, I'm a president now." And I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." And now we had tanks, armored, and security, heavily armed, and armored cars. And I was like, politics is always around me. That's crazy. But I was like, yo, but it's really this thing that I just wanted to, I don't like to make things about me, but I like to give a different point of view on things. Because a lot of people, listen, even Trump, listen, I wouldn't go as far to talk about the people that I consider the most evil people, right, on earth. But whoever they are, they got kids too. And those kids love them. Whatever they do, even if they are horrible people, killed millions, etc., they still have kids that love them, girlfriends that love them, wives that love them, and people that are innocent that have nothing to do with that. And in this world where everybody just throw whatever they feel, yeah, listen, nobody cares about how much they hurt those kids. I completely remember, like, sometimes I'm just here chilling. I remember when I started my career, and I'm here having success with Bounce Baby, Telephone, then On Dit Quoi, etc., etc. And I'm here, I'm being my own person. I made it by myself without the help of my parents. I'm here, and then some people arrive and say, yeah, but you're the son of. What does it have to do with my music? Yeah, yo, you don't deserve because you grew up in this neighborhood. And I'm like, oh, you have to be poor to be a singer? And your parents have to be nobodies? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? And yeah, listen, I really, I felt for my wife yesterday because I know that stress way too much. I know that stress. Listen,